Oh, no, 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 hardcore gamer bros. I thought Princess Peach Showtime was supposed to bomb. I didn't think it was supposed to be number one on Amazon, number one on the Famitsu sales charts, outselling games like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, Dragon's Dogma 2, and Rise of the Ronin. I thought Princess Peach Showtime was a minor release on a dying platform. I didn't think it would be possible for this game to sell more than 1 million units, right? Like I didn't think anybody wanted this. I thought gamers hated girls. I thought they didn't want to see female video game protagonists in anything. Isn't that what Gamergate is about? Isn't that about like like the coping and seething regarding this topic has been hilarious, right? Because I said Princess Peach Showtime was going to be a success when it came out, and yet we saw a large number of major YouTubers try to tell you that like this is a major release, that we're gonna get like the Switch 2 like in early 2024, that this was gonna be like the last game for Switch ever, right? I mean, they also said the same thing about Super Mario Bros. Wonder, but and Tears of the Kingdom, but like yeah, the coping was real, right? Like right from the announcement trailer was that this wasn't a big deal. This wasn't going to be successful. This wasn't going to be like something that would light the world on fire. This wasn't going to be like a good game, right? And we saw that up until release, like even after release, right? People were trying to tell you that the frame rate was bad, the costumes were bad, like the level layouts were bad. It was too simplistic. Like it's not for hardcore gamers, right? Like they were throwing everything they could at the wall trying to dispute this game. Like, oh, it's not worth $60, right? They were doing everything they possibly could to try to find some reason not to support Princess Peach Showtime, right? They did everything they possibly could, everything. And what happened? The game did extraordinarily well, right? It mogged Dragon's Dogma 2, it mogged Susie Hunter's game, it mogged Rise of the Ronin, and it mogged Final Fantasy VII R, right? Tifa and Eris together, two pairs of breasts in bikinis couldn't overtake like Princess Peach Showtime. Like Princess Peach mogged them both without even really trying. Like we're at the point now where Eris and Tifa are not like prominent female video game characters anymore. We're in the era now where Princess Peach is. That's weird to say because traditionally I think people didn't really care for the character, but like now seeing like how popular Princess Peach Showtime has been, it couldn't be more obvious, right? That Princess Peach is bigger than Eris Gansborough, right? She is bigger than Tifa Lockhart. She is bigger than Lara Croft. She is bigger than Samus Aran, right? She's bigger than all of these female video game characters, right? She's the love interest of Super Mario himself, right? Of course, that chick deserves a spot in gaming history. And for the past like 20 years or so, everybody's been denying that for her, right? Like, oh, you'll never succeed, Princess Peach. Oh, you're just a damsel in distress. You can't do anything. Like, oh, the Mario movie is woke because you picked up a poleaxe or whatever. You were in the biker suit. Like, how dare you wear anything other than a pink dress? Like, we saw people like come out in droves just attacking Peach near constantly for the past several years. I remember like the feminist frequency videos where Anita Sarkeesian would stand there with that blank look on her face and try to tell you that like Princess Peach should like I don't know, like save Mario or something. That she's like one of the most misogynistic characters in gaming. Yeah, where's Anita now? Okay. Like, do you think she's sitting there alone in her house in like that wedding dress she bought for her birthday party and just playing Princess Peach Showtime and trying to convince herself that like, oh, the gaming community they're gonna reject this because they're misogynist. No, like gamers, real gamers, not those like plebs on X, not people like Video Game Lover 58 on YouTube, not like the YouTubers, not the streamers, not Arlo, not Vinny, not the Bit Block, right? Not those guys. All those guys who tried coming out and trying to tell you that like, oh, I don't know about this demo, guys. Oh, like those guys do not know the first thing about video games. I saw Arlo sit there, playing through like, this game, right? I don't know. I got to like the mermaid section, I think. That's like, what, about halfway through, I think. Like, I saw Arlo like I sit there for like hours and like try to find something bad to say about the game. Like this is typical for Pretend. I was like, oh, I'm not sure how much fun I'm having, guys. Oh, this is really hard. Like he couldn't do like the zombie baking thing, at the end where you have like all the zombies and you have to bake the cookies and hand them over. Like he couldn't do it. He said it was too hard. Like that's the level of skill we're dealing with here. Like these guys will legit make videos complaining about Princess Peach Showtime being too easy, and then the game actually comes out and it is easy and it's very good and very enjoyable, very creative, and then they turn around and try to say it's too hard, right? Like that is the level of like small brain, low IQ, like beta male takes we're getting from the community right now, right? There was no reason at any point to have any reservations about Princess Peach Showtime, right? It looked fun and interesting. It looked charming. It had good animations, great ideas. Like the level themings were great. It was coming from a good developer, Good Feel Studios. It had a great demo, and yet even now, you have a lot of people like bending over backwards trying to ignore the reality that Princess Peach Showtime has outsold Dragon's Dogma 2. It has outsold Rise of the Ronin. It has outsold Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Like I remember growing up and people like trying to tell me that like, oh, Final Fantasy VII, it's the greatest game of all time. It'll be remembered forever. It's the GOAT. And what's happened? While I was playing like great games like Luigi's Mansion and Super Mario Sunshine, you were playing like Dirge of Cerberus, right? You were playing like Crisis Core and trying to convince yourself that it was good. You were playing Kingdom Hearts 2 and trying to convince yourself it was the best action RPG ever made, right? You were waiting for Kingdom Hearts 3 for a decade while I was playing like stellar games like Super Mario Galaxy, Super Mario Galaxy 2, 3D World, 3D Land, right? Odyssey, right? Like all of which are way better than Kingdom Hearts 3, which I still have not even finished. Like what? How does it even end in Kingdom Hearts 3? That Cloud is so irrelevant that he isn't even in Kingdom Hearts 3. Like that is how bad this video game icon, Final Fantasy VII, has become over the past couple of decades. Meanwhile, Princess Peach has evolved. She's gotten stronger. She's gotten more popular. People went from like calling her one of the worst female video game characters in gaming to unironically loving her. And I think we're still in that phase where like people are kind of in denial about that. Like people don't realize how popular Peach has gotten over the past couple of years, right? And I think like the reception to this game really showcases that because people really thought this game was gonna bomb. People really thought this game was gonna have some controversial aspect to it, and in the end, that was not the case whatsoever.